Okay, pass. File item 162, Senator Hall. Not at his desk. File item 163. I'm not sure. Senator Lara, Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 96 by Assemblymember Atkins, enacting animal parts and products.
Senator Lara.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. I'm proud to be a principal co-author with Speaker Atkins on Assembly Bill 96 to close loopholes in existing law that allows for the sale of illegally poached ivory. We are seeing a poaching crisis that has the potential to impact an entire species of elephants and rhinos. Unfortunately, California is a top market for illegal sales of ivory, and this is estimated to have doubled over the past 8 years. An average of 96 elephants per day are killed for their ivory, translating to an average of over 35,000 elephants per year, members. This type of species loss is unsustainable, and African elephants are now being slaughtered faster than they are being born, which will eventually result in their extinction. Protecting elephants and rhinos is key to conservation. These large species are often referred to as ecosystem engineers because of their presence is critical to habitat management and environmental balance. We have the power to significantly reduce demand for ivory by passing AB 96. California should not allow a loophole in current law to turn us into a haven for illegal ivory and the rhino trade horn. I respectfully ask for your aye votes.
Thank you, Senator Lara. Members debate or discussion. Senator Stone.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't think there's anybody on this floor that wants to see more elephants slaughtered, 96 elephants a day. What hasn't been said is that the largest acquirers, if you will, of illegal ivory are China, Japan, and the Philippines. In fact, the United States does not import a lot of illegal ivory. So this is nothing more than feel-good legislation, which is basically going to make criminals out of law-abiding citizens in the state of California. It's doubtful that this bill will do anything to reduce poaching and will instead devalue and rob an individual's long-held artwork, firearms, native jewelry, and other valuables by preventing the sale of these items. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service historically maintained the position that most ivory in the United States has been legally imported. If implemented, the majority of ivory owners who have legally operated in good faith, obtained these valuable collectibles would be punished. The Geneva-based organization enforcing the Convention on International Trade of Endangered Species has praised the United States for the tiny amounts of illegal ivory coming into its markets. The major illegal importers of ivory, as mentioned, are China, Japan, and the Philippines. Stopping the legal trade in California will decrease the supply, which may increase the prices of ivory, leading to an increase in worldwide poaching. Instead of increasing criminal penalties and regulations beyond the federal government, it may be more effective to decrease demand by raising awareness through public education, public service announcements, and campaigns. I respectfully ask for a no vote.
Thank you, Senator Stone. Members, any further debate or discussion? Senator Leno.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I don't know if this bill makes me feel good, but I can tell you that we have to do something. The slaughter of elephants is so severe, we may not have them a generation from now. That's of concern to the planet Earth. Then there's the cruelty of it. These are animals that mate for life. We rip families apart. They experience emotion. We know that. These are sophisticated, intelligent creatures. All this bill does is close some loopholes so that existing law can be enforced, which it cannot be now. We can do nothing, sit on our hands, and we know what will happen. We can try and do something. China's also the largest emitter of greenhouse gas emissions. Does that mean we should just do nothing? No, we have an opportunity to lead, And that's what this bill will do, close some loopholes so existing law can be enforced. This is worth your aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Leno. Senator Anderson.
Members, I rise in defense of the elephants. I believe that we need to be doing something, but doing something that doesn't equate to saving the elephants makes no sense to me. You know, we've had several bills on drones, and yet one of the most effective tools are drones in the fight to save the elephants. Because you can't watch all the elephants, you can't track all the elephants, and those poachers are out there going after them. They're laying in wait. They're killing these majestic animals for that ivory. And all I can think of is if we had more drones in the air, if we were funding those drones, we could protect them because we would know where the poachers lie. We would be able to pursue the poachers and stop the slaughter of these animals. If this bill provided for drone coverage, if this bill would lead to protecting the animals, then I would be absolutely for it. Unfortunately, this is another feel-good effort that leads to not protecting or stopping the illegal ivory business. So I unfortunately can't support it today, but I pledge that if we have a bill that leads to a goal that we all can agree on, which is stopping the illegal procurement of ivory, then I absolutely will be there, and I'll stand proudly side by side. But perhaps we should focus on putting more drones in the air in those areas where poachers are feasting on the ivory that they are illegally procuring. I urge a no vote.
Thank you, Senator Anderson. Senator Jackson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, as someone who's involved in this drone issue, I would respectfully and humbly, of course, disagree with my colleague, Senator Anderson. This has anything to do with drones. This has to do with, frankly, the arrogance of humanity, that we should be able to, for whatever purposes, destroy another creature on this planet. And the elephant is quite an extraordinary creature, probably a creature we could take a lesson from. They are loyal, they educate their young, and frankly, they do nothing to harm us. And so the question becomes, why should we feel free that we should be able to take their lives for the sake of ivory? That we aren't even talking about something that provides human sustenance, something that we need in order for us to survive as an arguably higher member of the food chain. So this is a bill. California is frequently the leader, and we are frequently the moral conscience for the rest of the country. This is a bill that I believe incorporates the best of our commitment to our planet, and at the same time recognizes that we do have to live and should want to live and coexist with other of God's creatures. I would urge an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Jackson. Any further debate or discussion? Seeing none, Senator Lara, would you like to close?
Thank you, Mr. President. I do appreciate the comprehensive dialogue on this issue, but I want to remind members that according to NRDC, California is the biggest market in the U.S. behind the state of New York for these products. It is these illegal ivory imports that are very difficult to measure because they come in through, they come here when they're smuggled and illegally and hard to track. And I want to remind members that California in 1976 passed a law that prohibits the importation for the commercial purposes, possession with the intent to sell, or any other sale of any elephant part. However, the elephant parts imported prior to June 1st, 1977 are exempted. So this bill closes that loophole, which has made the law nearly impossible to enforce, and this is why we need to do this bill today. So it is not a feel-good bill. This bill gets to the heart of this loophole, ensuring that we no longer allow for the imported illegally trade of ivory. And you know, also it's worth noting that our colleagues in the Republican Party, that a Democrat is doing everything we can to ensure that we protect their mascot, or else it becomes a relic. And I'm ensuring, so let it be known that this Democrat today is fighting to keep that elephant alive and well in our world. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Lara. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen? Anderson? No. Bates? No. Bell? Aye. Berryhill? No. Block? Aye. Canella? Aye. De Leon? Aye. Fuller? No. Gaines?
No.
No. Galgiani? Aye. Glazer? Aye. Hall? Aye. Hancock? Aye. Hernandez? Aye. Hertzberg? Aye. Hill? Aye. Hueso? Aye. Huff? No. Jackson? Aye. Lara? Aye. Leno? Aye. Leva? Aye. Liu? Aye. McGuire? Aye. Mendoza? Mitchell? Monning? Aye. Morlock? No. Morrell? No. Wynn? No. Nielsen? No. Pan? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Roth? Aye. Runner? Stone? No. Vidak? No. Wachowski? Aye. Wolk? Wolk, aye.
Secretary, please call the absent members.
Allen? Aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mitchell? Runner? No.
Ayes 26, noes 13, measure passes. Members, at this point in time, we will now move to privileges of the floor. Pro Tem De Leon and Senator Pavley.
Following Senator De Leon.
Great. Senator De Leon.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. It is a privilege, colleagues, to introduce and welcome Rear Admiral Markham Rich and Navy Captain William Whitmire to the California State Senate. Rear Admiral Rich is commander of the United States Navy for the entire Southwest region, where he oversees operations and facilities across 6 western states. He's also known as the Navy Mayor of the great city of San Diego, as he is the ranking naval officer based in that great city. Captain William Whitmire serves with the Naval Corps of Engineers. He is the Assistant Chief of Staff for Facilities at Marine Corps Installations West, also known as a Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton in San Diego. Together, Rear Admiral Rich, as well as Captain Whitmire, are leading efforts to improve energy security at military installations across the region. Their efforts are part of a broader security initiative across our armed forces to improve energy independence for tactical, economic, as well as environmental purposes. The Department of Defense has called climate change a, quote, threat multiplier, end quote. And we have seen the tactical importance of alternative energy sources as a staggering number of battlefield casualties, both in Iraq as well as Afghanistan, were related to attacks on fuel convoys. As a result of the Secretary of Navy has stated that energy independence is a national security issue, and it has established 3 goals for the department. This is the Secretary of the Navy. Reduce petroleum use in the Navy's fleet by 50% by 2015. Produce at least 50% of onshore energy requirements for alternative sources, and require 50% of the department's installations to be net zero by 2020. So far, the Marine Corps Installations West has invested $5 billion in smart infrastructure, including utilities and energy efficiency projects. The installation is generating over 24 megawatts of renewable energy and is on track to expand significantly. They are developing infrastructure to support zero-emission vehicles, including on-site solar panel generation that is connected to the hydrogen generation and storage equipment to power fuel cell vehicles. In fact, they are working with one of our IOUs, Sempra Energy, San Diego Gas and Electric, with new technologies that, in fact, may rival Elon Musk and his battery power storage in the near future. Those are my words, not the Navy's words, so I just want to be clear about that. These are very cutting-edge projects that would have seemed quite impossible 10, 15 years ago. But as always, our armed forces are always one step ahead of the public at large. When it came to civil rights and it came to the integration of one of the greatest institutions that we have, higher education, public schools. It was the U.S. military who integrated people of color, first and foremost. When it comes to energy security, whether you're on the right, or whether you're on the left, whether you're in the middle, it's actually the U.S. military, especially the U.S. Navy, who's far ahead of the curve when you understand the need of energy independence as well as the energy security efforts of California. I want to commend the Navy and the Marine Corps for their initiative and ambition on this critical frontier. Colleagues, please join me in welcoming these fine leaders, these fine warriors to our chamber. That is Rear Admiral Markham Rich and Navy Captain William Whitmire to the California State Senate.
Welcome.
Senator De Leon and I will be presenting them a resolution and of course offer that opportunity for other members to join us. But just to let you know, this sort of really wonderful, amazing relationship with our military bases in California has paid off in big dividends. We've been working collaboratively together on issues related to climate change and energy independence for over 10 years. In my county, in Ventura County, we've had an amazing relationship with our Navy bases there. They have not only incorporated LEED designed buildings for energy efficiency, but they have incorporated efforts with the private sector. A biodiesel company named Biodiesel is on the military base, private-public partnerships, and they have done an amazing job in creating lower carbon aviation fuels that are now being used in the Pacific Fleet. They're expanding research and development and investment through the Department of Defense, all under national security, because they see climate change as one of the greatest security risks that not only our country but the planet is facing. So they're really leading the way and have met and exceeded any AB 32 targets. They're quite amazing. So I'm here just thrilled to have them join us on the floor today and for you to have a chance to meet them.
Thank you, Senator Pavley. Senator Block.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of my constituents in the city of San Diego and Coronado, I'd like to particularly welcome and thank our Navy Mayor, Rear Admiral Rich, for being here today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Admiral Rich and Captain Whitmire with the U.S. Navy. Senator Hueso, for what purpose do you rise?
Under motions and resolutions before the noon hour, I'd like to request unanimous consent to return SB 249 to the Assembly for further action. It's time sensitive.
Thank you. The desk will note.
Thank you.
All right, members, we're going to lift the calls on a few bills here. And we'd like to go through this one time for each bill if we could. Excuse me, Pro Tem De Leon.
Mr. President, just one important just privileges of the floor. So I get my colleagues' attention on one issue that is really, really important. Today, obviously, is Wednesday. It's 11:33. We're going to break at 12 o'clock for 2 hours because we have Rules Committee hearing. But I wanted to take advantage of this very important message that today is our colleague's birthday, and that is Senator Benjamin Hueso. He wanted to go under the grid or under the radar screen, But I just want to give a happy birthday, feliz cumpleaños, to Benjamin Wenzel.
Happy birthday. All right, members, we'll go ahead and lift the calls. And we're going to start with file item 115, AB 1343. Secretary, please call the absent members.
De Leon. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Morell. Pavley. Aye. Wykowski. Aye. Morell, no.
Ayes 35, noes 5. Measure passes. We'll now move to file item 154, AB 25. Secretary, please call the absent members.
De Leon. Aye. Huff. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Wykowski. Aye.
Ayes 40, noes 0. Measure passes. Now move to file item. Oh, okay. File item 159, AB 68. Secretary, please call the absent members.
De Leon. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Wykowski. Aye.
Ayes 40, noes 0. Measure passes. File item 160, AB 69. Secretary, please call the absent members.
De Leon. Aye. Hall. Aye. Mitchell. Pavley. Aye. Wykowski. Aye.
Yes, please. Please call the absent members.
Mitchell. Aye.
Ayes 40, noes 0. Measure passes. Great, thank you. Yeah, members, we'll now move to file item 172, Senator Monning. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 231 by Assemblymember Eggman, an act relating to post-conviction supervised release.
Senator Monning.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, AB 231 creates parity for all victims of stalking by allowing a victim to request that his or her stalker be prohibited from returning to a location within 35 miles of his or her home or workplace, regardless of whether the offender is under state or local supervision. This ability currently exists for offenders released on parole, but has not been updated to apply to offenders on post-release community supervision. AB 231 updates this protection for victims of stalking. Members, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Fuller. Aye. Gaines.
Aye.
Aye. Galgiani. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Aye. Huff. Aye. Jackson. Lada. Aye. Leno. Leva. Aye. Liu. Leno, aye. Liu, aye. Jackson, aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Aye. Morell. Aye. Wynn. Aye. Nielsen. Aye. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Aye. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Aye. Wykowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Secretary, please call the absent members.
Allen. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Galgiani. Aye. Hertzberg.
Ayes 39, no 0. Measure passes. Members, we'll now move to file item 173. Senator Leyva, Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 256 by Assemblymember Joan Sawyer, an act relating to crimes.
Senator Leyva.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, members. I rise today to present AB 256, which would help protect digital and video evidence from being altered or destroyed. As we all know, it is important that we protect the integrity of all evidence, but particularly digital and video evidence, since these images can be deleted with the click of a button. When the public captures any potential evidence on video or even a cell phone, it is critical that we send a message that altering or deleting these videos will not be tolerated. It is already a felony for a police officer to knowingly alter, place, or move physical matter with a specific intent of wrongfully charge another person for a crime. AB 256 ensures that the law will not be misinterpreted by specifically clarifying that any physical matter, including digital images and video recordings. Members, I know that you all appreciate the importance of ensuring justice and fairness to all. An important part of that process is making sure that potentially incriminating or exonerating evidence is not deleted. AB 256 has earned unanimous bipartisan support, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Great. Thank you, Senator Leyva. Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none, members, would there be any objection to a unanimous roll call? Seeing or hearing none, ayes 40, noes 0, measure passes. Members will now move to file items 176, 178, 181, 184, and 187. Starting with file item 176. Senator Block, are you prepared to bring this item forward? Pass on file. File item 178. Senator Stone, are you prepared to bring this item forward? Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 363 by Assemblymember Steinnorth, an act relating to elections.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, AB 363 is an election efficiency measure which will allow counties to begin transporting ballots in secure ballot containers from polling places to counting locations before the polls have closed. This is a critical tool, especially in large counties like Riverside and San Bernardino, where it can take several hours just to move ballots from a polling place to a central counting location. This bill has received unanimous bipartisan support, has no opposition, is supported by the California Association of Clerks and Election Officials and the California State Association of Counties. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Stone. Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none, members, is there any objection to unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 40, noes 0, measure passes. Members will now move to file item 181. Senator Galgiani, pass on file. File item 184. Senator Pavley. Excuse me. Yes, we'll go back to file item 182. Senator Leno. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 404 by Assemblymember Chu, an act relating to community colleges.
Senator Leno.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senators, currently the community colleges have no way of gathering information, feedback, solicitation from their campuses, their faculty, other stakeholders with regard to the accreditation of the colleges back to the federal government on the statewide performance of our regional accrediting agencies. So this bill would require that the Board of Governors of the California Community Colleges conduct a survey of its campuses to solicit information that would be anonymous but could be aggregated, put into a report, and then delivered to the federal body that reviews accrediting agencies. It's called the National Advisory Committee on Institutional Quality and Integrity. The accreditation process, as we all know, significantly impacts our community colleges and should be transparent and integrated with stakeholder participation. That's what this bill does. It has enjoyed strong bipartisan support. I think it passed off the Assembly floor unanimously, and I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Leno. Members, any debate or discussion? Senator Nielsen.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, Senate, I rise in support. This is an issue that Senator Bell and Senator Leno and I have been extensively involved with over the last several years. There have been many concerns and some abuses that we claim we requested, and there was done a state audit, joint legislative audit that was very critical of the accrediting process, and we're looking for some changes. This is a step in that direction. This is very critically important to our community colleges. Some have really suffered in this procedure. We need to bring them some relief and certainty that accreditation will be a fair process.
Thank you, Senator Nielsen. Members, any further debate or discussion? Seeing none, Senator Leno, would you like to close?
I ask for your vote, please.
Great. Thank you. Members, is there any objection to unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none. Ayes 40, noes 0. Measure passes. 184. Yes. Okay, members, we'll go to file item 184. Senator Pavley. Senator Pavley, would you like to bring this item forward? Pass on file. Okay, so we'll move then to file item 187. Senator Hall, are you ready to bring this forward, this item forward? Pass on file. Members, will move forward to the next following bills. File item 194, 195, 201, 204, and 205.